The ID Console surface is a modular system. This is the basic unit. You can have additional fader packs, up to 20 on one computer. The connection to the computer is a USB cable, but we don't using the USB protocol. We're using an own developed high efficient plug protocol to send much more faster than usual the data between, so you have a really quick metering and so on. So we have here the hardware is already done. The software implementation is still in the beta phase. That means that not every single feature that will be in the final version is already in. The basic concept of the main unit is to have over here 12 large faders and what I call 12 small faders. That means tracks 1 to track 12 and track 13 to track 24. They have individual flips. You can flip them, of course, all together and reset them. If you have more than 24 tracks, and I think that happens pretty often, you can go for bank up, bank down, or one fader up, one fader down. If you do big mixes, this is a pretty slow thing to work, especially if you have to jump often between track 1 and let's say track 100. That's why we're giving here a couple of preset buttons that bring you much faster to a specific position in your mix without using back up, back down keys. So for instance, if you want to go for your effect returns, hit the effect return button that shows you up here all the effect return stuff, or the input objects, your MIDI channels, the signal groups, your fader groups, your mix passes, so you have a really fast access and navigation through here. Of course, you can also do individual layers that are independent from what happens on the screen. So over here again we have 24 names, 24 times level, cast, solo, ready arm, flip them, and select buttons. If you have select channel like I have down none, you will find here over in the channel strip all the important parameter of the channel. The first 8 knobs over here showing you your out sends. Over here you'll find the out send, the surround panel. For the aux channel you will find here the surround panel for the normal channel. You find here your full band full parametric EQ. So this is gain. If you hit the button, all buttons have push buttons. It's the on off. You have here the frequency. If you hit it once, you get to the Q. So that's we can do with 2 buttons the whole band. If you want to have for every single parameter your own encoder, you simply hit the EQ key over here, and then you got the whole display just for the EQ. It's the same thing with the surround panel and other things. But in this view, you will have a direct information for all the important things on the channels. You'll have here it displays you the channel number, the channel name, the physical input, the physical output, which plugins are in use. So you see here directly, oh, I have here on this channel and plugin slot 2, .2 plugin. If you want to add this, hit the plugin button and the plugin parameters will pop up here. If a plugin has more than 24 parameters, you have this bank up, bank down scroll to scroll through pages. This is basically one way to work with that. The other way is the local assign. In the channel strip assign, all these encoders going to one dedicated channel. But in the local assign, for instance, selecting aux 1 means now I have 24 times the aux 1 for the 24 channels I have set up over here. Okay, that works for the 8 out send. That works also for the gain, for the pan, and for combinations of pan. That means right, left, front, rear. Okay. Let's move a little bit over here. Basically, this control is done for recording and for mixing. But all the time also the mixing engineer has maybe to do a little bit editing. He has to move new end or change a fade in, a fade out, or do a new crossfade. That's why we did also here this editing section. You'll find here the normal computer keyboard and a trackball that you can do your mouse operations, typing your names, numbers, whatever. And a lot of your basic editing you will do with dial. The dial, of course, moves the cursor, but you can also zoom with the dial. You hit the button, move the dial, and you will zoom on time, zoom on tracks. This button means trim the beginning of the event. This button will move the event with the dial. This button will trim the end of the event. With a couple of editing keys, fade from event begin to cursor position, fade from cursor position to end of the event, do a crossfade, open my fade editor, and another couple of important editing things. That means you don't have your touch, your trackball for all your basic editing functions like trimming, moving, cutting, fade in, fade out, crossfading, copy, move, delete, and this stuff. So, what else we have? We have, of course, a big transport section for all important transport features, and then we have over here a couple of user-labeled keys that gives you a free programmable for the user himself. So, as you know, Nuendo has nearly 1,400 commands, not possible to surface. We have every feature key on. That's why I decided to do a couple of user-definable keys in different locations. Yes. So over here we'll find something that looks pretty analog. It looks like an analog control room section, but it's not analog at all. It just controls functions inside the Nuendo software. The only analog gear on the hood controller is one talkback microphone and two headphone preamps. That's all analog stuff in. And this section looks analog and it should look analog. Everybody knows the big red one is that way you have your speaker volume. So it's pretty familiar to every user from analog mixing desk, but it controls just digital gear in the Nuendo software. The good thing on that, it's not limited. So, for instance, I could build in a 5.1 analog monitoring section, but then you get really lost if you say you have a small speaker stereo setup, a big stereo setup, a 5.1 and a 7.1. So I did it digitally, so you can decide by your own how big your control room section should be.